Abby from Craft Industry Alliance. Hope you are having a fantastic day today. We are here, of course, every Wednesday to do our member spotlight where we get to drop in on a Craft Industry Alliance member, learn all about their business and their business journey, what inspires them, see some cool stuff from around their studio, which is always a highlight, and then just learn all about them. So today we're going to be joined by Lorinda Davis, who is the owner of an incredible business called, the Quilter's Planner, and there's also the Knitter's Planner. You've definitely seen this around. It is super awesome, and I'm very excited to just learn from Lorinda about the business and about having a planner business for creative people like you and me. So I'm really excited to have her here. Hey, Lorinda, how are you?
Hi, Abby. I'm doing great. How are you this morning? Well, afternoon for you.
Yeah, I am good. It is early afternoon, as you said. We're getting ready for our trade show next week, so it's a little bit of a mess, but I'm not showing you the mess. I'm just going to keep the camera.
Right, keep it into the frame, right?
Exactly. So it looks like it normally looks from up here. But anyway, so how are you doing?
I'm doing great. We're in the middle of our production season, so I'm dealing with a little of the same. Fortunately, all my samples have been sent out to Maine for photography, so I don't have anything I have to hide right now. So that's good.
Okay. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about, I know this business originated with the Quilter's Planner. That was the sort of first product, and it really took off, and it is so much more than just a planner. It is many, many pieces, many beautiful components, something you would save from year to year. So tell us a little bit about that product first to start out with.
Well, thank you so much, first of all, for saying that. Yes, because although the calendar portion of our planner is really important to us, what makes the Quilter's Planner and the Knitter's Planner, the Quilter's Planner and Knitter's Planner, is that it's focused towards those crafts. We really believe in helping creative people make the most of their time. Our time is precious, and we want to do that. So the company was founded by Stephanie Palmer, who I owe such a debt of gratitude to. She is so amazing. So she started the Quilter's Planner, and the first year was 2016. And then in 2020, we added the Knitter's Planner. So the Quilter's Planner has, of course, our calendar portion. There's weekly tips for quilting. There's patterns, which are always a really exciting thing for people. There's always a block of the month that comes every year. There's a resource section, and then also a project planning section where you can list out all of your projects, what step everything is at. We really just like to help people to, like our planners, I feel like are what helps somebody focus in to get their craft done. We are quilters and knitters because we love it. And sometimes we get into the day-to-day and we forget that we want to do the things that we love. We want to spend our time in that way. And so we just kind of like to help people carve out that time.
Absolutely. And so the patterns that are in the Quilter's Planner, they're designed by some of like the top quilt pattern designers. And it's super exciting opportunity kind of from a business perspective for those folks too, to get featured in this way.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Stephanie created this great formula of collaborating with people within the communities, the craft communities that she was serving, and there's a lot of people. I've had I had a designer last year emailed me and said, "This was on my quilting bucket list. Thank you so much." and I had gotten a little birdie had told me that this person was interested. So I messaged them, and really these communities are about relationship. And so working with these designers has been so wonderful for me. I think between connecting the designers with the customers is the most rewarding part of this job to me.
Right, because a customer might get exposed to a pattern through their planner and then seek that person out, follow them,
yes,
and then become their customer as well. So it really is about that relationship building. Okay, so that was the Quilter's Planner, was the kind of the first product. Why expand into knitting? What was the sort of thought process behind creating another planner that was different along a similar, format, similar idea, but just for knitters?
Well, that was a decision that Stephanie made because that was before I took over. So I took over about a little over a year ago. But I believe it's because of the love of the craft and the love of the community. So Stephanie is an artist in all ways. And usually if you do one fiber art, you're doing another, right? So there's a lot. I've had people say, oh, I would love a combo planner. But I think what happens is, for me at least, when you tell people that you own a company like this, you automatically get told, hey, you should make this, or you should make, excuse me, a planner for, and it's hard to not want to do all that because there's these wonderful communities that you want to reach out and serve. So it was, I think, a really easy transition for the company to go from, okay, we're serving quilters, excuse me, how can we serve the wider craft community in the same way? So how, we've got our process streamlined already. Why not start incorporating that into serving other communities?
Yeah, absolutely. And knitting, we all know very well, often knitting projects are very long-term projects. So it does make sense to, like a quilt, to have a way to sort of plan and, make sure you're using your time and keeping track. So that also lends itself to, okay, so you had mentioned that you purchased this company from Stephanie. And I think that's such an inspiring part of the story, because in my experience, very often in craft businesses, which are really very small businesses usually, when folks are ready to move on, need to go get a day job, want to do something else, whatever it might be, they often just shut the doors and they don't sell the business. And sometimes it's because getting all the books in order and doing all of the processes needed to sell is a huge and daunting task. Other times there's other reasons, but this was a success story. This is a story in which it did happen. So talk to us a little bit about that process, how it actually came to be that you acquired this business.
That it was, I love this story because it was very serendipitous. I've been a part of the quilting community for a long time. I was a knitter and still am a knitter, but not as in depth in that community. But I was working for Stephanie as a contractor. I've been overseeing the Block of the Month program for a few years. And so there was another local business that my husband and I were looking at purchasing. I was getting to the point in my life where all my kids were driving, and I was like, okay, I had been a stay-at-home mom and working part-time, but I was looking for something full-time. And so there was a local business that we were looking at. The man that was going to sell it wasn't quite ready to retire in the timeline that we were looking at. So my husband and I were leaving. We do a planning retreat every year where we leave for a weekend and we spend time together refocusing and looking at our 10, 5, and 1 year plans to sort of, thank you. Yeah, it's a very valuable weekend for us. So we were actually about to leave for that, and a big point of discussion that was on the agenda for that was my career and what I wanted to do next. And we were literally, he was putting our bags in the car when I got a message from Stephanie saying that she was thinking about selling, and if we kind of knew anyone, it was a message with another one of our contractors, if we knew anyone who might be interested, because she was talking about, she wanted to sell to somebody who was within the community. And so she sent this message, and I went, send me details, send me details. And we ended up, my husband and I spent probably the whole weekend, 90% of our talking was about this business and just the excitement, and it fit in with my purpose very well. I really push against this hustle culture and this idea of busyness is a virtue, and that's something that really has bothered me for years, and I've wanted to figure out ways that I could help people combat that. And so this business was just perfect match. And we were so excited. And so I, on Monday, called the man and said, I just need to confirm that you're not ready to retire and that I'm not backing out of a deal that there's gonna be burned bridges or anything. And he said, no, I'm not ready to retire. You go for it. And so the rest is history. You know, you're right though. It is a big transitioning a business. So that was in January, and it wasn't until the end of March that we took over, and that was a more than full-time job, just doing all the due diligence for, you know, making sure everything was going to transition well.
Absolutely. It is, you know, I founded Craft Industry Alliance with a business partner, and then at a certain point she was ready to move on. So it's not quite the same as buying a business outright, but I did buy 50% of our business from her. And even that process, which one would think, you're still in the same business, how hard could it be? But even that process took several months. It's a lot of work. You have to get your business the valuation done first, and then all of these subsequent steps, figuring out a payment plan. And I think that's one thing that maybe some folks don't realize, is that you don't have to necessarily have a ton of upfront capital to buy a business. You can get on, you know, you could put down a down payment that's affordable, and then you can get on a payment plan over several quarters, over many years, to be able to afford it. And that money can come out of the profits that the business itself is making, so that you don't feel like this is impossible. I can never.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can make it happen. It's definitely something you can make happen. And something I think of note too is, in this industry too, a lot of us, we are friends and we are friendly. So there's that kind of odd, I have to have some uncomfortable conversations with my friend about finances and things like that. So really, I think, thankfully, in this relationship with Stephanie, we were very open with each other, and always have been. And I still stay in contact with her. I will send her texts, you know, because she's got all that company history in her brain. So I'll send her texts sometimes and be like, hey, can you remember, you know? So we have this very open rapport. So that was a really a great asset going in. Both of us being willing to say, hey, we're friends, but this is a business transaction. So no hard feelings, getting our lawyers to make sure that everybody is happy with the situation. And
to talk about money and, you know, negotiate really with somebody, as you said, who is your friend. And so that open communication is really, really important, and just being frank and open with one another, and being able to hang on to the friendship. Because like you said, you need that person still after the business deal closes and it's all done. You still need that person in your, you know, in your life, in order to help you figure out some aspects of the business.
Exactly. And I feel like she's such a big cheerleader for the company, because this is her baby. It's not like she just washes her hands and walks away and isn't emotionally attached anymore. She is. And so she's just our number one cheerleader. And then we are so excited to see what she's been doing next, and how she's been focusing more on her art and developing that. And so, yeah, it's really kind of fun to see it work out for everybody.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so show us some of the samples. I think some of the things that you have. Show us the Quilter's planner, show us the Knitter's planner, and show us some of the other cool stuff you have around that would sort of give people a sense of what this is all about.
Perfect. Well, first of all, you'll see behind me that is, you're only getting a small portion of it, but that is our current block of the month. That was designed by Cheryl Brickey. She's done a lot of our block of the months. She is wonderful to work with. Adore her. This is another one of those. It's the Snowflake Sampler. And then this one was designed by Karen Lewis. As you can see, it's just a quilt top. I'm actually finishing that one this month. That's part of my UFO project. And then we have a couple samples of the Knitter's Planner. This one is the This Way, That Way shawl. I absolutely love this. I can't take credit for designing or making this. This was before my time, but the sample was still hanging around. And so Kitty Wilkin, our photographer, sent it to me. And then this is a pattern from this year's planner. It's a cowl. It's designed by Angela Tong, who is incredibly talented. Yeah, I love her so much. She is so fun to work with. And so she designed that for our 2022 year. I've got a couple. Okay, so first of all, just to kind of give people an idea. Oh, sorry, my ring light. If they've never seen our planners before, a beautiful product is something that's really important to us because I feel like if it's beautiful, we're going to want to use it.
Right.
And our goal is that people will be using it. I always tell people, if you're not using a planner, I don't want you to buy it. You know, I would prefer that you use something that works for you. And I've been known, as much as it hurts me, to recommend another product to a customer who is looking for something that we just can't provide or don't have.
Right.
And, you know, I'll tell them, hey, I really don't think that we're the thing for you. But, you know, here's something else. So our tabs are always, all this photography is done by Kitty, Night Quilter, and she is just phenomenal. And we always work with some great models, and she is currently, there's that cowl.
Oh, yeah.
This is my version though. This isn't this sample. But I made my own version with the colors reversed. So in each month, you'll see like a monthly goal planning. At the beginning of the year, there's an annual goal planning. And so we sort of talk about, within the book, we want people to incrementally divide out their goals. So they have their annual goals, and then they split it out to monthly goals, and then they push it into their weekly goals. So those annual goals are getting pushed into our weekly tasks of what do I need to be doing this week to be achieving my goal that I had for the year.
Right.
Because sometimes, you know, we see those and then we forget to look at them until June. And so,
yeah.
So that's the calendar section, and we have lots of options. We do print on demand, which is wonderful for creating customization. So you can choose if your week starts on a Monday or a Sunday.
Okay.
And then you can choose your weekly layout. And I actually have a few here. So that's the horizontal. So you can see the weeks are out like that. This one's a special planner that has all the versions within it. So then we have the grid. And you can see there's a little weekly tip. This is the knitter's planner. So this is a knitting tip each week. We have a dot grid. Oh, here's the vertical. This is kind of that classic where it's got three bullet points where you can do the your 3 main tasks, and then it's got split out by the hour. And there's a little more room in this one for some notes and things. And then we have a dot grid. I'm just trying to find one of the dot grid layouts.
And that would be for like bullet journaling or...
Yeah, if you're a bullet journaler, then
this will work for you. Yeah.
And it's completely open. You've just got your week laid out and your tip, and then everything else is completely open for you to bullet journal.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are our planners. And then we do have some people that say, you know what? I am not planner girl. I've tried. I can't do it. I'm just not that person. Yeah. So we have what's called the design book, which is the project planning pages, but without all the calendar. Okay. So it doesn't have a calendar or the annual patterns, because we do new patterns every year, and this is a evergreen product. And so there's still the vision board and the place to inventory your yarn and your hooks and everything. But it's just got our bunch of our project planner pages, which are wonderful for designers.
Yeah.
And then it's got the projects at a glance. This page is kind of a favorite with all of our customers. You can list out your projects. You can see exactly where you are in each step. So that's a big part of it. So if you are just like, I like my digital calendar, or I can't do a calendar, I've tried, it just doesn't work, but you still want to plan your projects, this is a really good.
That's more like a project tracker, but without the planner piece. Right. So super useful for folks who maybe use Google Calendar or whatever else, have another solution for that.
Exactly. You know, we live in a digital world, and a lot of people, you know, I personally am a paper calendar person, but I do know that there, you know, I have a good friend who I gave her the Quilter's Planner design book, and she's like, yes, this is what I needed.
Right.
Because
I could totally, I'm a digital calendar person, but that project tracker, looking at all of the whips all over here, I could definitely use. I have, I think, 5 sitting right here at various stages. And then I just bought a new pattern yesterday. So, you know, we're all in that situation.
Yeah, I was talking with a knitter friend the other day. We were at a fiber festival, and she was like, "You always need to have at least 3 knitting projects going." And I was like, "Well, I do have 3 or 4 knitting projects." I said, "But you do not want to know how many quilts I have going."
So many, so many. It's okay though, because I have to have like my English paper piecing project for taking on the road. And then I have, I
Yes.
have like different things that fit into different parts of life. So you do need to
Yes.
have
Yeah. Same with
multiple.
knitting. You got to have your mindless project for when you're like
Right.
hanging out with friends, and yeah.
Yes. It's important, but keeping track of where you are, what you need to, what supplies you need to get, what you're out of, all that stuff is really the inventory piece of it's also really helpful.
Yeah, and it also keeps you moving. I personally, because there's a check space for each step, that is really, really motivating for me because it's like I finish basting a quilt and I get to put an X there, and it is so satisfying. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, well, once I quilt it, then I can do another one.
Right.
And yeah, it's a little bit addictive, and so it's definitely
Yeah, it
does keep
helps
you
you
going.
to not procrastinate from those steps that maybe aren't your favorite, whether that's like binding or, whatever.
Yeah.
There's always these steps that you're sort of like, I don't love this part, but I have to get it done. But it's
Yeah.
motivating if you can
I
check it
found
off. So,
something because I've been a Quilters Planner user since day one. I have actually have kept all my planners, so I actually have from 2016 on. But I
oh, that's
did
great.
notice something about year 2 or 3 that a lot of my projects were X'd off up to the basting step. And then so I learned something about myself. Oh,
Right.
okay. I'm getting caught up on basting on I have a lot of quilt tops, but they're not done. So it
Right.
was good information for me going forward. Like, oh, maybe I should schedule some time on the long arm so I don't have to baste things.
Right. Exactly. Like figure out where it is that you're constantly getting tripped up and then not finishing things.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
just looking at your own patterns is also this very good tool for doing that too, which we all have certain things that trip us up time and time again and then end up with this big basket of unfinished projects. So
Yeah.
yeah, learning about your own behavior. That's awesome. Yeah. So good. Well, Lorinda, this is awesome. If folks would like to check out the Quilters Planner or the Knitters Planner, or the project book, or if they maybe know somebody for whom this would be the ideal gift, where
Mhm.
should they go to learn more? When are the planners released and that sort of thing?
Yeah. So currently we're done with sales for the 2022 planner. We just don't find that people really want them after March. So we are currently selling the design books and all of our accessories. Also our Aurafill collection, which is just over
Oh, yeah.
there, is on sale. So you can go to quiltersplanner.com or
Okay.
knittersplanner.com.
Okay.
And I will let your followers know that now is a great time if you're looking to gift a design book to some friends. Now's a great time to go on the website because it's currently on sale.
Oh,
It's
nice.
my birthday month, and so we have a sale going through the end of the month that those are discounted. So definitely check it out this month if you want to do that. As for the 2023 planner, I usually start getting messages in like July asking,
Yeah.
like, hey, we really want it.
Right.
People get really excited about it. So our scheduled release date for this year is September 1st. And that's not a pre-sale date. That is we will start sending them out to you on September 1st. So that's when you can go on and find them. I will say if you go to our website and sign up for our newsletter, you'll get the inside scoop. And if we do happen to do a soft a soft launch, they'll find out first.
Yeah.
So they kind of, the newsletter is amongst our first. And then if anyone has any questions, any of our social media, you can send me a message, or you can just message hello@Quilters Planner or hello@Knitters Planner. And that goes straight to me. All the customer emails come straight to me because I like to connect with them and know exactly what's going on with the business. And so if anyone wants to talk to me, just send a message.
Yeah. Well, this is great. This is a good time this month to get the project book for yourself or for maybe even an early gift, holiday gift, or something like that. And then in September, you can go ahead and get the it's hard to believe it's going to be 2023. The 2023.
Oh, my brain is always a year my brain's always a year in advance. And
yeah,
so,
I bet. In this business,
yeah.
You have to be. So come get the 2023 calendar, or
in September 1st. Yeah.
September 1st. Get on the newsletter list so you get that notification as soon as it's ready to launch. And I just think this is fantastic. I think it's a great way to make sure you're using your time wisely, which is something we all struggle with. So it's just wonderful. And I'm so happy that this incredible business is living on under talented and passionate new ownership. So that's awesome.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate you having me on. I do have to say I've been a Craft Industry Alliance member for a really long time. And the learning curve of taking over this business was pretty steep. And it was so nice to have the website that as a resource to be able to go on and, first of all, the Facebook page, but then just all the workshops and the articles. I was able to go and search the Craft Industry Alliance webpage and just be like, eek, I don't know about this. And then there'd be an article or two or three on the very subject that I was trying to figure out. So I so appreciate my membership with the Alliance and appreciate what you're doing as well.
Oh, wonderful. That's really heartwarming to hear, Lorinda. So thank you for saying so, and thank you for being a member. And thank you to everybody who joined us for this awesome member spotlight this week. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Okay.
So take care.
Bye, you too. Thank you so much.